public outcry for people who want a better planet.
And there are powers that be that let the people panic.
Look at the Gulf of Japan, could they have really planned it? Heading for the iceberg like the Titanic.
Atlantic mystery, Atlantis right from history. The truth about the pyramids in ancient Mayan prophecy.
Space Odyssey, look into the anomalies, and you will find suppression of free energy technology.
A false democracy born out of a monopoly. Sacred knowledge robbery like the towers they toppling.
No stopping free.
J-Brain,
Vito C.
Coming from the inner me.
Free energy.
The oil's running dry.
Our money's burning out.
Solar panels on the roof of the White House.
Hey!
We bringing on some real change.
Water catchment system.
We collecting rain.
Have you found yourself overcome with an absolutely irresistible urge to wash your potato? Are you looking out going, what the hell is going on out there? Trying to figure out this stuff and just, it's not making any sense. I've got this big puzzle I call life, and I just keep finding pieces here and pieces there, and I'm putting them together, and I don't know. I guess we're in the right place to try to figure it out, because we're getting some really amazing people coming on to the 100th Monkey Radio Show with Tom and Ramon, and we are trying to find some of those pieces. So, a couple things we'll want to touch on tonight real quick before we get going with our guests, and one of them is we do have some of the our little gig stick monkey thingamajiggers still up for sale. So, yeah, if you want one, pop over to the website. And
what do they get in that really quick, Tom?
Yeah, we got all of our first year plus, well, from November 17th all the way through the end of last year, all the audio is on there. Plus, we've got all the video interviews that we did on there, and I'm actually through on the both the PDF and the audio for the Book of Aquarius is on there too. So it's a screaming deal for $40, guys. So we've got a few left. So if you want them, let me know. We'll get them sent out to you. So, what else, Ramon? What else is going on?
Let's see. We're on Facebook, Twitter. Tom, you have also the YouTube link. So if you scroll down, you'll find it, and you can click on that. We're also up to 100 countries listening to us.
Yeah. Yay.
And one of them is, let's see, we got Netherlands, Antilles, and Jersey. And we're not talking about New Jersey. Actually, it's south of England.
Yeah.
Between England and France, isn't it?
I don't know. It's somewhere over there. Sorry for whoever it is that's listening from over there. I don't know where you're at. Oh, yeah. We guys, poke around on the website. We've got a lot of interesting stuff on there. We've got some really amazing guests coming up, too, besides the one we have on tonight. We've got Marcia Schaefer that's going to be on next week, and then we've got William Buhlman, and Faustana we're had a couple of scheduling issues. He was supposed to be on this week, but we will be getting him scheduled back in. And then we're going to have Dr. Robert Foreman will be returning here in February. So got a lot of good stuff coming up. So tonight, who do we got, Ramon?
Tonight we have Tom Lescher. Tom blends his rich intuitive insight with 30 years of astrological background to make each reading a life-changing event for his clients. His approach to healing spirit, mind, and body through emotional release and Kundalini Yoga utilize astrology as a healing art. In addition to personal readings, he brings astrology to everyone through the international lectures, experimental workshops, writing, and teachings. He is the author of the Pele Report, a weekly astrological YouTube forecast, and numerous magazines, online articles using yoga, meditation, and nature for self-renewal and natural laws as his guide. His work brings balance, love, and joy to others and the planet. And we have all the on our webpage. You can connect and find all his stuff. Tom, welcome to the show. Thank you for last minute.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me, Tom and Ramon.
Hey,
Yeah, so we're gonna call this the Tom Show.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like that '80s group. Do you guys remember that? Tom. What was it?
Yeah, there's drums named after us too.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I never did quite understand is why they call it Peeping Tom. Why couldn't it be Peeping Ramon? Yeah.
Are we gonna spend the hour talking about that?
No.
Okay. All right, Tom.
So, Tom, you are, you know, for the last few months here, I came across you on YouTube, and I absolutely loved your approach to astrology, the humor you put in it, and the insight. You seem to be hitting things right on the head. What actually interested you in astrology? What took you down this path?
Well, it's about 35 years ago. I lived next door to an astrologer, and I was born on July 23rd, so I never really even knew before then whether I was a Cancer or a Leo, and I never paid any attention to it, you know, and my whole view was that you only go around once in life, so you should grab for all the gusto that you can. And then I lived next door to this fellow, and we actually did a little trade for a reading, and he looked at my chart and blew my mind, basically. I mean, he just told me that, he told me about my physical health, he told me about my family, about my parents, about my girlfriend, about, you know, I had just crashed my motorcycle and I messed up my knee. He told me I was going to have that I had problems with my knees, and it just really amazed me very much. And so after that, I went around and I started doing charts for everybody that I knew and everybody in my family, and my mind continued to be blown at the accuracy and at the the meaning, the deeper meaning to life events kind of became more clear for me all the time. So I've stayed with it for a long time now, and it never ceases to amaze me. I mean, every time it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper, because it's really the study of life.
Yeah. So is there one particular, I know there's a lot of different astrological traditions or methods that are used. Is there one in particular that you use primarily?
Well, there's two main schools that are the sidereal zodiac and the tropical zodiac. The Vedic Indian astrologers use the sidereal, and the Western astrology is tropical. So I do the tropical. Within the tropical, there's a whole number of different schools, and what I can say is I've looked at the Uranian astrology, evolutionary astrology with Jeffrey Wolf Green. He was a good teacher of mine, and shamanic astrology with Daniel Giamario. He was another good teacher of mine, and I've pretty much just combined all of those different schools into my own. It's just my own take on things now.
Right. So, I know you can be really scientific about astrology, and you can go, this planet is here, and you have this aspect, and all these different things that have a very set properties and rules about them, if you want to use the word rules. But how much does intuition play a part in actually forecasting?
That a lot of that depends on the astrologer. And that's what I always say to people. It's not what kind of astrology, or palmistry, or iridology, or tarot cards, or tea leaves. It's the astrologer. So different astrologers will, use different amounts of their intuition, and you've got mundane astrologers who don't use any intuition. I personally use astrology, as a path to cultivate, verify, validate, and strengthen my intuition. So, over the years, I use my intuition more and more all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I intuited would be your answer. Oh, geez. So before we get into what the stars are saying about where we are currently in the world, I kind of like to understand a little about what's the shift from Pisces into Aquarius that we're going through right now. I'd like to understand some of the, I guess the dominant traits or characteristics of the two major cycles that we are experiencing. What are some of the more dominant traits of the Piscean age?
Well, the Piscean age, these ages last about 2,160 years. It's a 26,000 year cycle. So, we're doing, this is a major shift. I'd say the major bottom line from Pisces is that it's water. And Aquarius is an air sign. So we're moving from water to air. Now, if we look at Pisces a little more, deeply, it is the archetype, okay, of the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the infinite all that is. So I don't even look at it as a water sign. I look at Pisces as more ether. It's not even, it doesn't even have any substance, man. It's out there. It is the Buddhists refer to it as the void. That void is out of which all manifest creation emerges. So it's the 12th sign of the zodiac. It's this Alpha and the Omega says that, it's really got this infinite quality to it. And so this age has really been about tapping into, that spirituality has been really a powerful, dominating force in shaping human consciousness. Religion has been really big.
Right.
And, it has been about faith in the unseen worlds, trust. It's been about salvation. It's been about, and you would go off. This is the other aspect of Pisces, is you would go off into the ashram or the monastery or the mountaintop or the cave or the secret societies. Pisces and water is about, it's kind of hidden. So it's like this secret information that's only been available to the select few that have removed themselves from society or from normal living conditions and kind of isolated themselves and renunciated the world. So there's been this great division between spirit and matter, because in order to be spiritual, you have to kind of renunciate, and give up your sex and your body and your animal nature in order to transcend. So there's been this kind of, overall, evolution, through, these types of activities, and we have kind of found ourselves, growing in awareness, through different religions and institutions and practices, that have opened up, if you think of your body in medical astrology or whatever, the Pisces is the crown chakra. And so it has been this kind of opening of this crown chakra that is very, you've had a lot of mystics and a lot of avatars, and, you got Buddha and Christ and all these people in there that have really, opened the caveman mentality into that, there's something out there, or there's something beyond, or there's something more than just, hunting, fishing, eating, and screwing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now we've been opened up, and that's kind of, what that Pisces is about.
So now we have the empty cup, or the open cup, and Aquarius is pouring its water into it.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is associated with the third eye, or the sixth chakra. So, in a way, we're taking that etheric, your psychics and your clairvoyance and your, the oracles at Delphi, and all of these, ancient, ways of seeing, and we're bringing that much more down into intelligence, innovative inventiveness, technology, and opening it up much more. So if you think of air, the air signs, of course, I don't even see Aquarius as an air sign. I see Aquarius as outer space. Because Aquarius and Uranus, in my sense, I associate them with extraterrestrials and, super, super genius intelligence.
Right.
But it's of a very intellectual nature, yeah, and so it's much. If anyway, I see like Aquarius. I just did this in the Pele report today. Aquarius is science, and Pisces is religion, and we're really moving from a place of faith and a place of religion and a place of belief, into a place of being co-creators, guess what, folks? We are, there's nobody out there, okay, that's going to save us. We need to create a society. We need to create a reality, with our own, internal connection to the infinite. So this is a much more kind of, in some ways I'd say, it's kind of going from a vertical, reaching up and out, into much more of a horizontal, where it's going to be communities and groups and humanity itself that creates, a new future for ourselves. So we're needing to tap into our own God self, or our own creative capacity, and manifest it in a much more clear, scientific, responsible. In some ways, right. I think it was even being like more, more responsible, because we're not going to get saved,
Right. I think we're really starting to understand on a massive scale how this all works, how your intention and your walking down the street, how it affects the things around you. And it's becoming, there's so many people out in the scientific arena that have jumped out of the box and are really starting to apply their knowledge and their experience to coming up with explanations for how this stuff works, how cause and effect things. I mean, things like Dr. Emoto and the water crystal stuff. I'm sure you're familiar with that, the cymatic stuff. It's becoming very apparent in the world now, and with the internet. Oh my God, I mean, everything's at your fingertips now, and we're getting proof of what's been taught by those avatars you talked about. We're getting proof that this stuff is real and all of us can do it.
Right, exactly. And it's only going to, over the next couple 1,000 years, science and technology it's not going to be what we consider science and technology now. I mean, we're already, it's exponential, I mean, we're blowing the doors wide open here with the way that we are penetrating the natural laws governing the universe is just, I think we're at the starting gate,
Yeah.
really, penetrating, gravity and relativity. And I mean, it's just, how it all works. It's going to become so much more clear, and it's going to give us so much more power, that we better grow up.
Right, exactly.
We're going to totally screw ourselves.
Exactly. With that power comes a responsibility, right?
Exactly, man. That's that's somewhere where we need to get the social dynamics and the relationships and get our emotional lower chakras in alignment and get our shit together, or we're gonna destroy ourselves.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was you, Tom, who said this, or somebody else. That the the Aquarian symbol, it's not that she's bearing water, but it's more etheric energy that she's bearing.
I did not say that, but I totally relate to that, I mean, if you think of it, water as the source of life, it's that she's, pouring out life energy, which is understanding and chi,
Yeah.
the life force is what is being poured out there. So
So oh, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, well, let's might as well jump into what's actually. No, let's step back a second here, Tom. I'm talking to myself, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
I do the same thing, Tom.
Yeah. When the natal chart. Okay, when everybody comes in here, they're kind of imprinted in some form or fashion by the way things are from where they are. I don't really quite fully understand this whole process. I'm sure you've contemplated what is the actual, what happens at that point? What happens at birth? Do you feel it's something that's like a magnetic or what's the energy there you see working?
Well, my sense is that, number one, we are infinite spiritual beings having an earthly experience, and we've reincarnated over and over and over again on this frickin' planet. Right. So, we're dipping down into these bodies, and that as infinite spiritual beings, we choose the time, date, place, parents, society, religion, imprinting. It's basically, we choose this whole situation condition to reflect and to give us all of the conscious tools necessary, desired, in order for us to fulfill a particular purpose in that incarnation.
Right.
So what the way that it boils down is that when they cut that umbilical cord, my sense is that, and this is also gained from a branch of astrology called horary astrology. And in horary astrology, which I have practiced, you ask a question, And the astrologer draws up a chart for the moment that you ask the question. And the answer to that question is in the chart. And this has been used since antiquity, right, to find lost articles and to, locate lost people and this, that, and the other thing. It's actually quite mundane,
right.
But the idea behind it is that at any given moment, the energy that is there, if there is and the way I interpret it is, every moment there is a need. And we incarnate to fill a need or a vacuum. Nature wants some energy, some person, some spirit to fill this particular need that exists on the planet, and that is reflected in the cosmos, in the planet, in the planetary alignments, and in the astrology birth chart. So it's really not so much in my mind a sense of imprinting, as so much as reflecting, as synchronicity, as I don't see that the planets or stars are doing anything to anybody. I see that this is all a reflective house of mirrors. And really, if we think of it, that the farther out you go, the deeper it reflects inward. The planets and the stars are as far out as we can see. So they reflect back to us the most unconscious, hidden elements within our makeup. Like, the macrocosm mirrors the microcosm.
Right.
So like the farther out you go, then it's going to reflect the deeper, farther in that you go. So that's my take on it. That's my,
I like that.
Speaking of far out, here's a bit of a far out question. If I, for example, was to move to, let's say, either Venus or Mars or any other planet, would that have a huge effect on my chart, or it would be pretty much the same?
No way, no, totally. It would be totally different. Totally different.
Okay. So, Tom and Tom, you guys want to jump in to see what's happening 2012? I guess we can start with what did this New Year's have any meaning, or even a little further back, start with October 28th. Was there any importance there?
Well, if I go back, I would go back to the eclipse. There was a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse, November 25th, and then a couple of weeks later in December. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Those eclipses, and then of course there is the winter solstice that occurred on December 21st. So those are the astrological markers that are used a lot more by astrologers than the actual January 1st, 12 o'clock midnight. Though, you can draw a chart for that time. In fact, I have a chart for that time that I could actually look at right now. But yeah.
So was there anything really spectacular? I think Ramon was trying to tie this into the Kalaman and Barban Clow's prediction for that October 28th was the end of the Mayan calendar, the actual end of the Mayan calendar. I think he was trying to see if there was anything of significance that happened in those periods that would have been reflected in the stars.
Thank you.
I didn't really, I didn't really find that much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was over in India celebrating 11/11/11.
Oh, nice.
which Yogi Bhajan, said was the birth of the age of Aquarius before he died. So, but what so much happens, it's like a trickle-down effect, okay? You've got, especially in Kundalini Yoga, you've got 10 bodies. So we have, a subtle body, astral body, etheric body, mental body, emotional body, physical body. We have all these different bodies. And so when these events occur that the Mayans are referring to, and the astrologers and the yogis and all these different, events that are happening, they're not always directly connected to earthly, physical, third-dimensional, material changes.
Right.
So I could, even though I didn't see a lot of lineups and things like that happening, in October 28th, I'm going to say that I do feel that the gates have opened, that the water is pouring out of the Aquarian pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it hasn't quite hit us yet all the way down here on Earth, but there is an awakening. There is a sense, there is a feeling that is growing stronger. It's like if you're surfing, you're out there and you see the wave coming. So we could say that the end has already begun, and it is just like you throw a rock in a pond and those circles all extend out in different directions simultaneously. It's the wave is coming towards us from that initial change point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask as well was with these new energies that are coming in, is there, okay, here's a better question. And I don't know if it would make sense in the astrology sense, but is there anything in your I might be jumping ahead of myself. Is there anything in your astrological charts that shows us having any like physical changes? Like some people think that there's the idea that we're changing into a Homo Illuminus. Is there anything that you've seen in your charts?
I see a lot of different things in the charts. And part of what I see is that individual human experiences are going to be diverging and expanding into multiple realities or multiple dimensions, such that there are going to be some humans who stay within the third dimensional realm and go on existing in somewhat of a similar fashion, similar way that things have been existing here. And there will be other experiences available to those who are seeking, who are wanting, who have evolved far enough or long enough or deep enough into their luminous bodies to awaken to other dimensions, other potentials, and other forms of existence. So it's, if you get what I'm saying, it's not like everything is going to be happening to everybody around here anymore. This is really kind of the biggest shift that we can be talking about. You did kind of jump in there, Ramon.
Right.
It's basically breaking up, where we're not having the shared reality that we have shared for so long.
That almost sounds like a chaotic period ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of his question, okay, is, can you see that in the charts? There's going to be some astrologers who would, take what I just said and go, that guy is way the frickin' far out there. And there's nothing in the charts that says that, and then there's going to be other astrologers that will agree with me, and they're going to look at the different planets and the different aspects in a different way. They're going to include other points, like the galactic center. We're going to be looking at cycles that that look at the galactic center, that use other asteroids and different points in the charts. That there's just all kinds of different astrological tools available for different research.
So, have you looked at Ophiuchus?
No, I have not.
Yeah, that's one that I hope nobody tries to quote me here, but it's between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Is that correct?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but from what I understand, at some point, somewhere, somehow, it was used. It was a 13 constellation astrological chart. Now, I could be completely off, and this may be something I just heard in passing somewhere, but.
Oh yeah. I am a little familiar with that. If it's the 13th sign.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that actually comes a little bit from a scientific realm that is kind of rears its head every 10 years or so and tries to bash, tropical astrology.
Oh.
It's based on the sidereal zodiac that is, used by a large, in fact, that the greater majority of astrology on Earth is done with the sidereal system. But even in that sidereal system, it's still divided by 12. But yeah, a scientist came out and laid out this thing on Facebook and on, YouTube and this, that, and the other thing, and got a whole stir going. And I got all kinds of, calls and emails. My sign has changed. Oh my God, what's this? And da 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 da. I mean, it's there's a lot of energy out there that wants to debunk astrology, and they don't stop.
Yeah, from what I've seen in the little research that I have done on astrology, those guys that are the people who are, genuine, and they go into it with an open mind and try to debunk something, say, well, I don't really believe this very much, so for me to really say this is a bunch of crap, I'm going to have to learn about it to be able to do that, and they end up becoming astrologers.
Yeah, there's been a couple of, historical, the Gogolins, he was a statistician, that tried to debunk it and became an astrologer. But yeah, the main thing is they don't even necessarily have to study it, research it, and spend years trying to prove it, as much as just get a reading.
Right.
I mean, all they have to do is go to an astrologer, give them their time, date, and place of birth, ask them a bunch of questions, and get a reading. I mean, it's just like everybody who comes to me for a reading, right? They walk away not caring what any scientist has to say. They just had a personal experience of truth.
Right.
And we have a internal indicator, our intuition, our gut, really shares with us, tells us, and we know when we're exposed to truth.
Right.
So.
that ring of truth. Yeah.
So, let me see. How are we doing with time?
So,
Tom?
we got 20 minutes, so or
Okay.
18 minutes, something like that. So, what have we got looking forward to this year? If you give us a quick rundown of what things are shaping up to be like for this year.
Quick rundown.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a quick rundown. I would say start off now and then we'll finish on the other half.
Yeah, let's start now, and then how about the rest of this month? What's the rest of this month look like for what your charts are saying? The types of things are coming up for humanity.
Well, the rest of this month, let's let me just pull up this chart here once. What's really the main thing is that where the sun is in the sign of Capricorn. Okay, the moon goes around once a month, like the second hand of a clock, and triggers everything off. So we can just kind of see the moon moving through there, and then we look at Venus and Mars and Mercury. Those are the three fastest moving planets. So they kind of indicate the more short run of things. And so what we've got going for the rest of this month is basically that the sun is still in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn is about business. It's about material, financial, physical security. It's about our duties, our responsibilities, our jobs, our careers, our vocations, our reputations. It's how the world sees us. So, this is a serious time. It's ruled by the planet Saturn, which has to do with the Lord of Karma and time and space. And with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I mean, it's very third dimensional. And then Mercury comes up, and actually by Friday, Mercury conjoins with Pluto, which is in Capricorn. So this is actually a very intense week. That is very, people are, there can be changes in the financial markets. There can be changes in the real estate market. There can be new announcements coming from the government and external authorities that kind of throw some curveballs. There can be the exposure of hidden lies or betrayals or untruths or things that have been buried for long, long periods of time coming to the surface. This is the kind of stuff that's going on this month. It's kind of setting the tone for this year being a huge year of radical shifting and radical changing with external authorities, governmental institutions, people that we've kind of depended upon or relied upon to take care of us in the past. It's the breakdown, the falling away, the breaking up of a lot of these structures that have given us a sense of stability and security, and they're on their way out. Yeah. So, January kind of comes in with this, a little bit of a bang, and I think over the next couple of weeks, we're going to get, some unsettling news.
That's just turn on the TV. I mean, not that I watch TV, but yeah, there's always unsettling news if you turn that thing on. I don't quite understand all the shadows that the powers that wish they were can continue to throw at us from all different arenas. The shadow fears that they're trying to. I don't understand why they would try to scare humanity like that. Keep us in fear.
That's exactly how they control us. That's the huge mechanism. I mean, the thing that I got in the past was basically that the Cold War was to be us afraid of Russia, Russia afraid of us, and everybody tipping around on eggshells. And then after the the wall went down and the Russia fell down, then they had to come up with terrorism. Let's make everybody afraid of terrorists. And after everybody gets sick and tired of the terrorism thing, it's going to be extraterrestrials.
All right.
Let's make everybody afraid of extraterrestrials. Because as long as the major population is in fear, then they need a government. They need bombs. They need defenses. They need, Big Brother. So it's actually creating, this insecurity that then makes people easier to manipulate, exploit, and control.
Yeah. So if things are set up for this year to be a great year of the unveiling or the exposing of those things that have been hidden, then maybe we can see a little bit of the fear slipping off to the side.
Well, oh, go ahead, Tom.
Well, it's a process. I mean, we have to get into a little bit more of a longer-term thing here, because Pluto is the representative or the archetype of death and resurrection. And death, demolition, annihilation, Shiva, whatever energy, Kali, Durga you want to call it, it is the death force. And in astrology, there is no death. Okay, there's just the transition from one state of existence into another. So this Plutonian force is basically the force of evolution that takes one form, demolishes it, annihilates it, destroys it, that it then completely transforms into a new manifestation. So this Pluto went into the sign of Capricorn in 2008, and it's going to stay there until 2024. And Capricorn is that sign that has to do with authority. External authority, governments, societies, the way that we structure and form our given reality, the laws of time and space. Man-made laws, I should say. So Capricorn is man-made laws, institutions and governments and individuals and corporations that uphold, create, maintain, and proliferate more of those freaking laws. So this is basically, it is a 16-year, 16-year period of time of annihilating, demolishing, and then resurrecting, reforming new institutions, new systems of financing, new religious institutions, new authorities, basically. It's a changing of the guard. Who, the people that we used to trust, that we used to rely on, that we used to give our power to, that we used to believe because they had a bunch of money or letters after their name or fancy cars or, good blood or something. This is no longer the case. And these people and these institutions are getting threatened. They're getting basically wiped out, and they know that this is coming. They see it coming. They know it's happening. And the degree of resistance creates the degree of pain and the amount of suffering and how long the time period takes before the new structures can be instituted. So we have a given time frame here that by 2024, when Pluto leaves Capricorn, there is going to be a whole new world, global society, or, institutions that support communities and individuals in a much different way than they have prior to this time.
That I hadn't quite heard it quite that way. As far as I didn't know that Pluto had gone into, I hadn't followed astrology. I'd off and on through the years. but I wasn't aware that Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008, and I see a huge correlation between 2008 and the people that woke up and began their wake-up process in 2008. It's just a tremendous amount of people that just all of a sudden woke up one day and went, whoa, something's not right here, something's going on. And the personal growth on that level, that year in particular was a huge wave of people that got the calls, so to say.
Right.
So that's a amazing validation for me for the properties of astrology and how they interact with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, what do you so do you see somewhat similar for the month of February, or?
Well, then the month of February, the sun goes basically. So the bad news is that our calendar doesn't really do very good with when the sun changes signs around the 21st of the month instead of at the beginning of the month. But we see the majority of February. The sun actually goes into Aquarius. Okay, what I'm talking about, January 21st, January 22nd. The sun goes into Aquarius for a month. And it comes out of this Capricorn, it moves into Aquarius, and we see there's a lightening up, right? Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's about business, and it's about practicality, and it's about security and stability, and there's, conservation efforts at maintaining what I've got and this, that, and the other thing. And then there is the movement towards Aquarius. And as the sun moves into Aquarius, the thing is that Pisces is in, Venus goes into Pisces, Mercury takes a little while. I mean, I don't want to just I don't do sun sign astrology.
Right.
There's a lot more involved with this, but if you guys are going month by month, I'm going to try to contain this in little pieces rather than, give this overall view. But so the movement towards Aquarius is a movement towards ingenious solving of problems with the use of technology, with the use of communication, with the use of networking, with the use of our brains and thinking and uniting together. So the way that I see February emerging is that there's, and what's going to be going on through this whole year and through the few years to come, especially as we move into this sign of Aquarius, this age of Aquarius, that has so much to do with that it's going to be small groups of people. There's going to be, and you can already see it happening, there's people that go, it's just too expensive to live alone. I'm looking for my tribe. I'm looking for my community. I'm looking for my people. I want to share the land, share the garden, share the laundry, share the kitchen, share the electric bills or whatever, share the cars. We are moving much more away from kind of this centralized governmental system that is national and international into more grassroots movements of self-sustaining communities of people. And there's migrations happening, there's people moving left and right all over the place. So February is really this time where people are going to be, and Aquarius is about this time of envisioning a new purpose, a new way that requires liberating myself, breaking free, quitting my job, leaving my spouse. Aquarius is about liberation and freedom from the known. So February is this time, whereas January is, okay, I'm going to do everything I can to put my finger in the dike and I'm going to try to patch up the hole in my ship. By February, it's like, you know what? It's not working. Let's just get this thing. Get a new, get a lifeboat, or pull your finger out of the dike and just get the hell out of there. There's going to be more, I think, a lightening up and escape routes, and people envisioning and imagining and creating alternative ways of working with and surviving and getting along. There's going to be more and more variety of ideas bounced around for solutions to our problems through that the month of February. It becomes more erratic, more unpredictable. Air changes really rapidly and quickly as compared to Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
So February, things begin to speed up even more than they already are.
Yeah. So okay, well, we're about to wrap up the hour here. Tom, if you would share where people can check your material out, your website, and how they can contact you.
Oh yeah. www.newparadigmastrology.com, and that is paradigm spelled Paradigm. It's like the new paradigm.
Right. Oh, geez.
And then on Facebook, I'm just Tom Lescher, Lescher, and I do a weekly YouTube. So you can subscribe to me on my website, and I will email my weekly forecast to you. Or you can subscribe to me on YouTube at Tom Lescher, TOMLESCHER, and I do this little 15-minute, this is what's happening this week. A lot of people like it. And then I put that up on Facebook, and I put it on my website, and that's... and then, of course, I do readings and workshops and all that, but all that stuff's on my website.
Yeah.
And we have links to that on our website.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So, okay, well, everybody you hang around and listen to Brooks Agnew coming up next, and then pop on over to the website, and we will talk to Tom for another hour. This is, I'm just totally fascinated with this stuff. It's just, like I said, I've got a new passion for it here recently since, well, I had a lot of changes happen in my life here in the last year or so. But this is becoming a big part of it. So, all right.
Okay,
well,
we should talk about your chart when we come back, Tom.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Didn't know if it'd be right to go there, but that would be so awesome.
You didn't.
Okay.
That's
all right.
funny.
Well, if you want to hear about what is going on in my life, tune into the second hour. All right. Condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance.
The love you deny is the pain you carry.
And we love you guys.
Have a good night.
Gather round, the moment now, how will it all turn out? To gather round, the moment now, how will it all turn out?
There's a public outcry for people who want a better planet, and there are powers that be that let the people panic. Look at the Gulf of Japan, could they have really planned it? Heading for the iceberg like the Titanic.
Atlantic mystery, Atlantis white from history, the truth about the pyramids in ancient Mayan prophecy.
Space Odyssey, look into the anomalies, and you will find suppression of free energy technology.
A false democracy born out of a monopoly. Sacred knowledge robbery like the towers they toppling.
No stopping free.
J Brain,
Vito C.
Coming from the inner me.
Free energy.
The oil's running dry.
Our money's burning out.
Solar panels on the roof of the White House.
Hey,
We bringing on some real change.
Water catchment system.
we collecting rain.
Time to gather round, the moment's now, how will it all turn out? And from the crowd